6 ways hormonal imbalance can put you at risk for hiatal hernia. First, you have less good bacteria in your gut. Next, you have constipation due to slow motility. Also, you've got a leaky gut, so with that, you are more likely to react to certain foods. Next, you have weight gain, especially around the midsection. Also, generalized inflammation, putting you more at risk for having acid reflux and things like IBS, IBD. And last, sleep and mood disturbances, especially anxiety. All of those factors are risk factors for creating hiatal hernia syndrome. So let's delve into them. What I'm specifically talking about is lowered estrogen. Now, we used to think of lowered estrogen as happening to women in menopause, which it absolutely does, but perimenopause, we are finding, can start in your early 40s, not age 50 like it used to. Now, there's a lot of environmental reasons for that, but nevertheless, it is true. So with that lowered estrogen, as I said, we've got those 6 factors, but I want to get into them a little bit deeper for you. So the loss of estrogen, you'll have less microbial diversity. So your microbes in your colon, which you talk about the microbiome, there's 60 to 100 trillion of them. So you have less diversity, and with less diversity, you've got less health, you've got more hostile bacteria, to keep it simple, and so overall increased inflammation. Also, with lowered estrogen, you're slowed the motility. So the whole motion of food going through your intestines is slowed. With that, you get constipation. With constipation, you get increased intra-abdominal pressure. That pushes up on your stomach, pushes up on your diaphragm, and hiatal hernia and acid reflux can be a result. Also bloating, also risk for, due to the slowed motility, increased risk for SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, because bacteria in the small intestine, there really shouldn't be any. You should have your nice healthy bacteria in your colon, but not in the upper small intestine. But when things are moving too slowly, what happens is any bacteria that are present, now they can happily multiply because there's not enough speed of motility to prevent them from doing so. And so then they create their own environment, and you get bloating, gas, and you can be pretty miserable. And that increased pressure, once again, is leading to a hiatal hernia and also acid reflux. Also, you get a leaky gut because estrogen supports the lining of your gut. And so you don't have that good gut integrity. Now you have leakiness, you've got increased permeability, and you get a heightened immune response in a bad way, and you can get things like autoimmune disease, which is much more prevalent in women, and also more food sensitivities. And certainly the food sensitivities, reacting to food not breaking down the way it should, again, increases the pressure in the gut, more likely to get hiatal hernia. Okay, there's also just generalized inflammation. Estrogen is anti-inflammatory. It's amazing all the things that it does, but it's anti-inflammatory. And so with a lack of it, you're more likely to get acid reflux, IBS, and IBD, irritable bowel disease. Also with decreased estrogen, which a lot of women will tell you around perimenopause, menopause, there's weight gain and also insulin resistance. And the weight gain is especially around the midsection. That's where we definitely don't need it because it's so unhealthy there, but also that weight gain is causing increased pressure from the weight in the abdomen, again, leading to hiatal hernia. And last but not least, mood and sleep disorders due to not enough estrogen. So you can get sleep disturbance, and when you're not sleeping well, nothing's going to go right in your health, but also increased risk of anxiety. So when you're not sleeping well and the hormones are imbalanced, you're more likely to get into the sympathetic fight or flight part of your nervous system. And we really need, for optimal digestive health, to be in the parasympathetic rest, digest, relax part of our nervous system. So with the lack of the good estrogen, and when that decreases, you tend to get more into the fight or flight. Women are more anxious, they can't think straight, brain fog, all of that occurs. So what do we need to do? First of all, I just did a video, and I urge you to check it out Also, you can go to the FDA. I'm taping this, it's late July 2025. The FDA just came out with a round table on women's hormones. Finally, yes, I want to scream. After 23 years, revealing the truth that hormone replacement therapy is safe for women, it's protective of their heart, it's protective of our brains, it's protective of our bones, and so very meaningful protective evidence that has been suppressed for 23 years because 23 years ago in 2002, it came out that HRT could cause breast cancer. And at that moment, everything got thrown out the window. Doctors were scaring their patients because they were told to scare their patients, and women were throwing out their hormone replacement therapy. That has now been proven to be a lie. The researcher of the actual study that said it was causing this now has admitted, only privately, but the research is out there and now been delved into, that there was no statistical significance for him to say that. He blames the media as sort of getting over exuberant about this fear factor, but of course he did nothing to stand up and say, wait a second, hold on, that's not what I meant. And here 23 years later, he isn't saying that either. Other people are saying it on his behalf. But it has been extremely well looked at that there was never any statistical significance, and to this day, there is no statistical evidence that was clinically significant that there was these dangers, okay? Now, there are certain women that should not take hormone replacement therapy. That's different. You could talk to your gynecologist about that, or your primary care. But your primary care and your gynecologist better be up to date on this as I'm speaking, because yes, it's only 4 days ago that this came out, but they should certainly be in the know. And if they're still scaring you about hormone replacement therapy, feel free to direct them. At this stage, if you just type in FDA, it comes up because it was only 4 days ago. But it's an FDA Round Table on hormone replacement therapy. That's how you can find it. So getting back to what you should do. Yes, you should get on hormone replacement therapy if that's appropriate for you. And it's only inappropriate for certain women who have had a history of cancer, etc. But it's not inappropriate just because you're a woman or just because there's some dangers, because the dangers don't exist. Okay, so with that said, also an anti-inflammatory diet, a diet high in fiber. As Americans, we eat a very low fiber diet, and that's dangerous. Polyphenols found in blueberries and also olive oil and avocado oil is amazing. And cruciferous veggies, broccoli sprouts, Brussels sprouts, all these wonderful vegetables that really help with estrogen detoxification. Also addressing your motility. So if you have a slowed gut, we talk about this a lot, but you need everything moving, and finding somebody who's an expert on that and not just going to give you a drug to try to decrease your constipation. It's not that. It's looking at your entire gut and why things are not moving the way that they should. Also, liver detoxification. Hormones they're produced, but then they have to be detoxified through the liver. And so if your liver is a bit toxic or you have a fatty liver, you need to work with that. The liver is quite easy to repair. It's a very, very strong organ. Testing for dysbiosis. I talked earlier about not having enough good bacteria or having too many bad bacteria, not enough diversity of bacteria. So there's tests that you can do to see what your bacteria are doing, and then there's natural nutrition to kind of help skew it back to how it should be. Testing for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth called SIBO. So these are the things that we look at. So you need to find a clinician who can intelligently work with you on all of these things and feels very comfortable in that whole comprehensive profile. So I hope you found this informative. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to increase our subscribers so that more people can avail themselves of natural healthcare solutions and being educated about their health so they really know what's available to them. And also send me a comment. I love your comments. I write back to pretty much every single one. And And also, if you need our help, we're here for you. So until next time.